Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob back today to bring you another battle, but first, look at my new layout! Yes, I am bringing you these trainer cards. I hope to put these in front of every upload. If I don't, it is because I don't have a lot of time. Then again, these only take about 2 or 3 minutes each to make, but when you have essays after essays after essays, and yes, I'm saying plural because there are numerous essays, 2 or 3 minutes lost is a lot of time. But anyways, I'm going to try and keep this short because the battle is very long. So, I am up against a standard UU team here by the Zam UU. Looking at our teams, we're running some pretty standard stuff. I will explain my team maybe in a Build-A-Team later. This is the new UU team I was talking about that I was creating for 2012. But let's just look at threats. Main threats are going to be Xatu and Gligar. Xatu just blocking my Sableye completely wow. Sorry guys, as well as any setup that I want to do with Stealth Rocks or Toxic Spikes. So I'm thinking that Rotom Heat is going to be extremely important in this. Hitmontop for revenge killing with his triple priority as usual. But those are the two things that I'm mainly worried about. Everything else is manageable. Now in the ways of leads, Rotom Heat seems to be the best lead, because I've got coverage on everybody. If he tries to leave with that Xatu, I can immediately threaten him out with an HP Ice, or with a Thunderbolt, which is probably going to be the thing he's going to see more. So, that seems to be the most logical lead, and I'm Scarfed, so even if he wanted to set up Stoutland right away, he has to send out Hippopotas first, which I can threaten out, or just hit with an Overheat. But without further ado, everyone, let's get out of this nice layout in the beginning, and let's go straight to the match, and I will see you there. So, as I said, I was going to lead with my Rotom Heat, and he's actually just going to decide to lead with his Deoxys Defense, which is absolutely fine. I know this thing is going to try and set up, so I'm going to go straight for the trick, and I get his leftovers, and now he's stuck with the Scarf, and he actually locks himself into Spikes. Now this is absolutely perfect, because Deoxys Defense was one of the big walls that I would like to get the trick off on, and, you know, if it was even on the Xatu would have been nice, but either way, I got it on the Deoxys Defense, which makes me a little bit happy. Now, we both make a double switch. I go into Hippopotas as I go into my Torterra. Now he's going to switch again into Xatu, expecting maybe Stealth Rocks, but I'm just going to go for the Substitute because I know I'm safe. And now, already so early in the match, I'm going to get screwed over. He goes for the Nightshade, and I'm going to go for the Stone Edge, but I miss. And Stone Edge, if you guys know or don't know, is not really common on Torterra. I've never seen a Torterra use rock moves, because usually it just has the Wood Hammer and the Earthquake, which I do hold. But at the same time, you usually don't see Stone Edge or Substitute. So what I do is I predict him to send an Empoleon to take another Stone Edge as he goes for the U-turn, and I take his Empoleon clean out, giving me an early 6-5 lead. And it's a good thing that that Empoleon is out of the way, because now he can't do any burning shenanigans. Now I'm going to send in Sableye, predicting the Retaliate. He actually just goes for the Frustration. Now, I'm going to go for the burn, but I should have known that I shouldn't have done that because the Xatu's still here, and I actually hit the Will-O-Wisp on myself because of Magic Bounce, so, or Magic Mirror, apparently. I thought it was Magic Bounce. Anyways, so, unfortunately, he's going to get the burn on me, and now I'm just going to switch out and go to my Rotom Heat to threaten him out, as he actually just goes for the U-turn, making that nice prediction, and he's going to switch out into his Deoxys Defense again. Now I'm thinking he's either going to set up, or I can just start firing off a hit, see what he locks himself into, and from there on I'll know where to properly switch. He goes for the Nightshade, and that does a lot of damage to Rotom Heat, because Rotom Heat doesn't have a lot of health. So I'm just going to go for the T-Bolt, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, I can maybe stall this thing out by switching into my Sableye. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch into my Sableye, because I have the Recover on priority, so the Scarf will not matter. And I think Sableye has a little bit more health so that he can last a little bit longer. Now, another thing that I'm relying on right now is his own Sandstorm weakening Deoxys Defense. Because as I keep recover stalling and he keeps trying to hurt me with Nightshades, I'm always going to be gaining a little bit extra health, and he's going to be losing that little bit of extra health every single turn. So, at this point, I'm just going to keep going for recovers, but he's actually going to switch out, and he's going to go into his Stoutland, which made me question what this is. I'm pretty sure it's banded, maybe, because it does get the Sand Rush, and it's double the speed already. So, I'm just going to stay in, but he does the Xatu switching thing as I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and I actually hit 2 Will-O-Wisps in a match, which is pretty lucky because I usually don't hit Will-O-Wisp. So, unfortunately, it's hitting it on myself, and that's not what I want. But he baits me in nicely. Now, I don't know where he was expecting to go from here because he's in Xatu, and he actually just goes for the Nightshade. So, okay, so he's going to try and do this with Sableye as well. But the difference is he's got leftovers helping him out, so this will actually just be counterproductive to me and losing my recovers. So at this point, he is going to keep recover stalling me, so I'm just going to speed this up now. Like I said, I do have announcements that I was going to share. I made it sound like I was going to say it, but I didn't. So I will say those at the end. He switches in this Gligar after he goes for a U-turn. Now, I'm predicting him to go to Xatu to predict my Will-O-Wisp, so I'm going to switch out and go into my Rotom Heat, which gives me the switch advantage, and now he's going to have to switch out because he knows I'm going to fry him with a T-Bolt. But what I do is I predict him to go into Hippopotas, and I'm going to go for the HP Ice because it was the safest move. And I do over half to the thing, which is awesome, and I see he doesn't have leftovers, so most likely he has Eviolite or Sash. Now he's going to switch into Stoutland, though, knowing that I've locked myself, or I haven't locked myself into HP Ice, but I'm just going to go for it to be safe. Not too concerned. I'm just going to switch out and actually go into Empoleon to sponge any normal hit he's going to go for. Unfortunately, he gets a crit, and this does matter in the ways of my usefulness with Empoleon because I could take more potential hits, and now I'm at a low amount of health. But anyways, I'm going to revenge him by getting the Scald Burn on the Xatu. And this I was extremely happy about because this is the only way I can status this Xatu on my team with the Scald. But now he reveals Roost, which is okay. I just go for the Ice Beam just to be safe. And I'm just going to keep this fast because it is a longer match, and I didn't realize the introduction was 3 minutes long. So he's getting crippled by Burn, and his leftovers being negated by Sandstorm. So I'm just going to go for the Scald to get him low enough. Now, I'm thinking he's just going to go for the Roost. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch out into Hitmontop to trap him into trying to heal up. So what he is going to do is he's going to go for the Roost. That's okay. But what he doesn't maybe know is that I carry the Fake Out with the Life Orb. So he doesn't, obviously, I guess he doesn't see the Intimidate because it doesn't happen. But I go for the Fake Out, and it brings him down to the exact amount of HP where, since he can't Roost, the Burn is going to take him out after the leftovers gets negated by the Sandstorm, which was exactly what I planned for, and thank God it worked out to the exact amount of HP. But now he sends in Gligar, and this ruins my day, but the good thing is that Xatu threat is out of here, which means that Gligar is touchable, except he has Substitute, and I don't remember Substitute Gligars. So I'm going to go for the Taunt, and I realize now I missed. I never saw that before, but I actually missed Taunt. And for any of you who are wondering, Taunt has 100% accuracy, but because of Sand Veil, it's not as accurate. So it's 80%, I think. But anyways, he's going to keep going for Earthquakes, and I'm figuring if this is his main attack, I'm just going to keep stalling him out with Recovers, because if you're noticing my HP, I am slowly gaining back, little by little, the HP that I need, and he's hoping for a crit, and like me, he's not going to get it. So I'm just going to keep going for Recovers, and he's going to keep going for Earthquakes. So this is what it's going to look like for, I think, a couple of more turns. I'm trying to think when I should switch out into my Rotom Heat, because I know Rotom Heat can come in on the Earthquake and then threaten him out with an HP Ice. But at the same time, I wanted to scout to see if he had some type of rock move like Rock Slide or Stone Edge, or if he has Ice Fang, if he just decides to go for it and maybe nail my Torterra. But at this point, I think it's at this point I realize I have a decent amount of health. I think I'm safe to go switch this guy out and go into my Rotom Heat, which I do, and he's just going to go for the Earthquake, just being used to Earthquaking Sableye. Now, I predict him to switch because he's afraid, but I'm just going to go for the HP Ice, I guess second-guessing myself, but he goes for the Toxic, and something about Asoft, it's not letting the Toxic work properly, so imagine that's Toxic damage, and it shouldn't be that much damage I'm losing. But anyways, I'm just going to go for another HP Ice as he switches into his Deoxys defense. Again, not too worried about what I hit Deoxys defense with, because the more damage I can get onto it, the more that plus Sandstorm is going to rack up, especially since he's Scarfed. So I'm going to go into Hitmontop now, just to try and do the same Fake Out thing, but he's actually going to go for the Spikes, which was actually a smart play, because he knows he can get his hazards back up, but I don't think he realizes I have Rapid Spin yet. But he does trick me, and he goes to Gligar, which actually wastes a lot of Life Orb recoil onto me, because I did absolutely nothing to Gligar, and he sets up a sub. So that kind of sucks. And now what I'm going to do is just go for the Rapid Spin, knowing that it's hopeless for me to take this thing out with a Hitmontop. And I'm just going to get rid of the spikes so I can switch him back in eventually, which means that he is going to have to bring in his Deoxys defense if he wants to kill off a couple of my weakened pokes. He's going to go for the Roost, and I figured, okay, I can go for the Substitute, maybe do a Sub-War here. Unfortunately, he is faster, and I completely forgot about Toxic. So now I've got a Toxic Torterra that can't recover. So, again, not losing that much HP. It's just Asoff being dumb. And I really hope this isn't too choppy, but it is sped up for a reason. But anyways, because he goes for Roost, I go for Wood Hammer, and it is super effective damage. Now, I wasn't too sure if that mattered on breaking his sub, because at this point, he goes for the Substitute, and I just end up going for the Stone Edge, thinking that would break the sub, but it doesn't, because it's only neutral damage and unstab, and like I said, Gligar is a beast. So, he's just going to go for the Roost, and once again, I decide to go for the Wood Hammer, and again, super effective damage because he gets rid of his Flying type with Roost. Now, I figured at this point I'm at like 3% health. Not 13, 3%. So I figured, okay, he's going to go for Substitute. I might as well just go for Wood Hammer, see if I can break it. And luckily for me, it does break with stab, but neutral damage. And I take myself out, which is not a big deal, because now I can send in Sableye, try and get a status off on him, which I get the Toxic off because I carry Will-O-Wisp and Toxic. And that's okay, he can take me out with the Earthquake all he wants. In hindsight, I should probably have burned it, but at this point I was thinking I just want to get as much residual damage as I can onto it. Now he's going to switch in Deoxys defense. I go for the Overheat predicting this, and I miss. I miss, because, you know, anything important has to miss, right? In all matches, you've watched this. You know how it works. But anyways, now I have to switch out of here fearing a Nightshade, but he actually goes for the Spikes again. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I can use this to my advantage, because while he's going for Spikes, I'm just going to set up my Rocks, right? Late game Rocks, because we're 47 turns in. And at this point what I do is I make a really, I guess, cheap move, and I go for the Roar as he finishes off his Spikes. Now the reason why I did this is because, one, he's already faster than me. So, you know, at this point I'm like, okay, you're going to, you know, I'm going to hit you, but you're going to set up your Spikes anyway. So what I do is I actually roar him out, so that when he switches back in, he can't abuse the Scarf, and he has to be just fodder. So he is going to be fodder as I leave my Empoleon in to die to Stoutland, because Stoutland is a beast, I believe, yeah. Okay, but anyways, I'm going to take out his Hippopotas with the HP Ice. Maybe he thought that I was going to overpredict and go for something like an Overheat, but I don't. Now, I don't want Stoutland smacking me, so I'm going to go into Empoleon. Oh, I go into Empoleon now. My mistake. I'm sorry, guys. Who died? Oh, I used Hitmontop as death fodder. My mistake. Okay. But anyways, I'm sending in Empoleon to die the frustration. Now I'm going to bring up my Drapion, which is making his appearance after 52 turns. And he's actually just going to go to Deoxys defense as death fodder. I should have predicted this and gone for the Toxic Spikes. But at this point, I'm like, okay, it's between Stoutland and Gligar. And as you will see, it would have been nice to actually get a little bit of poison on the Stoutland. But anyways, I don't want to take the normal move. I want to see what he locks himself into. And he actually does go for the Retaliate. I thought he had it. So I said, okay, sorry, Rotom Heat, you're going to have to take it to the face. And at this point, if you guys can't already see, because he has this Gligar and I wasn't able to get rid of it, I'm completely walled, and he's easily going to finish me off. So that was an excellent match, the ZamUU. Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this battle. I hope you like the new layout. Again, Tearfing is still working on this graphic, and now apparently he's got this brand new fancy thing that he's going to bring and all this other stuff for me, so apparently it's going to look cool. But I hope you like the trainer cards. Tell me in the comments section whether or not it actually looks clear enough or not. But hopefully that should be okay. And at this point I'm looking at the match and I'm seeing it's a little long, so I'm going to end it here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.